You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the really fascinating ideas shaping our world. And today, wow, we're tackling something that might just redefine intelligence itself. What if the very source of AI's intelligence is shifting beneath our feet? We're talking about the Great Autopoiesis. It's this incredible phenomenon where AI models are now learning not just from us, but from other AI models.
Right.
It's fundamentally reshaping how we even think about intelligence.
And autopoiesis here, it really just means a self-referential loop.
Yeah.
Where AI is basically training AI.
Like it's feeding itself.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Creating this internal self-sustaining system for generating knowledge. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's happening right now.
Okay, so our mission today is to help you understand this huge transition. What does it actually mean for knowledge in the future, and why does it bring both, incredible speed, but also some really profound risks?
Exactly.
We're digging into a pretty fascinating report from AI World Journal that really lays out this seismic shift.
It does. It's quite something.
Okay, let's unpack this then. To really get where we are now, we kind of have to look back, don't we? Back to that first wave of large language models, maybe 2018 to 2021-ish?
Mm-hmm.
What were they actually built on?
Right. So those early LLMs, they were almost entirely rooted in human-generated data, unequivocally.
Okay.
They were essentially, you could say, the result of our collective digital memory.
So like the entire internet scraped?
Well, huge chunks of it.
Yeah.
The core data sets were things like Common Crawl. That's just a vast snapshot of billions of web pages.
Right.
But also the pile, which is more diverse academic stuff, online texts, Wikipedia, naturally, for structured knowledge, GitHub, for all that code.
All the code, yeah.
And, of course, huge archives of digitized books. The key thing is these weren't just random bits of data. They represented, centuries of human thought, discovery, arguments, creativity.
Our history, basically.
In text form, yes.
So these models were like giant digital students, just soaking up everything humanity had ever written down online or scanned in.
That was the idea. The core assumption was if you expose these models to the sheer breadth of human language, they'll pick up the underlying patterns. Grammar, facts, though, not always perfect.
Hallucinations and all that.
Exactly. And even some basic forms of logic. The report called them sophisticated pattern recognizers trained on the residue of human intellect. They were mirroring us.
But that couldn't last forever, could it? There had to be a limit to just scraping human stuff.
Absolutely. There was an inherent ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's where we hit what the article terms the data wall.
The data wall, okay.
Yeah. The amount of high-quality, diverse, and genuinely new human text out there for training, well, it's finite.
Right.
And as these models got exponentially bigger, their hunger for data just massively outstripped the supply we could sustainably provide.
So just feeding them the same stuff again wasn't working?
It led to diminishing returns, definitely. And worse, it started amplifying the biases and the errors that were already baked into that original human data. We needed a new source, a different approach.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting then. The human data hits a wall. How did AI keep improving, keep growing? What happened next?
Necessity, right.
Yeah.
It became the mother of invention. The whole field essentially pivoted. AI itself started becoming the primary generator of data.
Wow.
And it wasn't like one single breakthrough moment. It was more of a convergence, a coming together of three really powerful mechanisms that have totally changed how models are trained now.
3 mechanisms. Okay, let's break those down. What's the first one? Synthetic data expansion, an AI content factory. What does that actually look like?
Okay, so the core idea of synthetic data expansion is that you take existing, powerful LLMs, let's call them teacher models.
The big ones.
Yeah, the big capable ones. And you use them to design and generate brand new training data, specifically for the next generation, the student models.
So the AI is making homework for other AIs.
Kind of, yeah. Think of it churning out thousands of custom math problems, complete with step-by-step solutions, or simulating really diverse fictional scenarios to train reasoning skills, or producing summaries, paraphrases, translations.
At a scale humans just couldn't manage.
Exactly. Speed and scale humans can't possibly match. Instead of waiting for people to write this stuff, the AI just makes it.
That's a massive shift in scale, isn't it?
It is. Companies like Anthropic, they use methods like constitutional AI to guide the output, ethically open AI, numerous startups. They've built entire systems around this.
Right.
A single powerful model can generate terabytes of structured, task-specific data. It's much faster, much cheaper than having humans annotate or create it. It's a massive force multiplier.
A force multiplier. I like that. It lets models learn from way more examples, especially for niche things where human data might be thin on the ground.
Precisely. Things like advanced coding or specific scientific domains.
Okay, fascinating. So AI generating new content, what's the second mechanism? Model distillation. You said earlier it's like making mini-Ms.
Huh? Yeah, that's a good analogy. Model distillation is really about efficiency and transferring knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Instead of training a smaller model directly on that huge, sometimes messy human data set,
Right.
you train it to copy, to mimic the outputs of a much larger, more capable teacher model.
So it learns the answers, but also maybe the way the bigger model answers, the style.
Exactly. The smaller model essentially absorbs the reasoning processes, the response style, the nuances of its bigger counterpart.
How does that work in practice?
Well, the teacher model generates responses to a whole load of different prompts, and the smaller model is trained specifically to produce those same outputs. You use sophisticated methods like RLAIF, that's reinforcement learning from AI feedback.
Ah, RLAIF. Okay.
Yeah, essentially, the smaller model gets rewarded, reinforced, when its outputs are judged by the teacher model or other AI judge as being high quality or correct.
Got it. So you end up with smaller, highly efficient, specialized models, like for your phone or something.
Perfect example. Models for mobile devices or specific business applications. They retain a lot of the capability of the original giant model, but they don't need that colossal human data set themselves. The knowledge is effectively, as the report says, compressed and transferred from machine to machine.
Machine to machine learning. Okay.
Yeah.
And the third one, the feedback loop of interaction. That sounds a bit more subtle, like AI influencing us and then learning from that influence.
It is subtle, but hugely important. The line between text written purely by a human and text generated or assisted by a machine is getting really blurry out there in the real world.
How so?
Well, think about it. AI tools are now embedded in so much of our daily lives. Content creation, emails, coding.
Right, like using an AI assistant to draft an email.
Exactly. The AI suggestions often shape your final text, right?
Yeah.
Or content marketers using AI for blog outlines. Programmers using GitHub Copilot for code snippets.
Chatbots handling customer service.
Search engines integrating AI summaries right at the top.
Okay, I see. All that content has AI's fingerprints on it, even if indirectly.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then what happens? That AI-influenced or AI-generated content becomes part of the digital environment
And it gets scraped.
and used to train the next generation of AI models. It's a self-reinforcing loop.
Wow.
AI generates content. Humans or systems use it. That content goes online. It gets scraped, trains new AI. The AI is learning from a world increasingly saturated with its own output, its own influence.
Learning from the environment it helped create. That's mind-bending.
It really is.
So what does all this actually mean for the internet we use every day? How much AI-generated stuff are we really talking about now? Is it a lot?
The trajectory is undeniable.
Hmm.
And it's accelerating fast. Getting precise global numbers is tricky, obviously. But
Yeah.
industry analysts, big names like Gartner, Forrester, they're predicting that by next year, maybe 2026, the majority of newly created digital text content,
The majority.
marketing copy, journalism drafts, software docs, maybe even some academic papers,
Mm-hmm.
will be either fully AI generated or significantly AI assisted.
That's staggering. The internet becoming mostly AI authored in just a year or two. An AI echo chamber, the report used that phrase, didn't it? That's quite an image.
It is a striking image, and I think we are starting to feel that, even if we don't always consciously recognize it in our daily clicks and scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about the new content being created. The big AI labs, they openly admit now that a substantial and growing portion of the data they use to train their latest models comes from these synthetic or AI-mediated sources,
Especially for specific skills.
particularly for fine-tuning things like coding ability or complex reasoning or safety alignment, places where you can craft synthetic data very precisely. So yeah, the digital landscape is rapidly becoming this AI echo
These
chain.
tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, just churning out words constantly.
Millions of words a minute globally. Human writing is still vital, of course, the original source, but it's getting increasingly mixed in with, and sometimes just dwarfed by, machine text.
Okay, this sounds incredibly powerful. The speed, the scale, AI teaching itself, it's amazing. But you mentioned profound risks earlier. Let's dig into those. What are the big downsides of this self-feeding cycle?
It's definitely a double-edged sword. The risks are serious, and they come in several flavors. On the one hand, yes, you get this incredible acceleration.
That's our learning.
Right. AI-generated data lets models learn complex stuff way faster, more comprehensively, than just relying on scarce human examples. It helps them iterate quickly, specialize.
So acceleration, check. But you also mentioned amplification. What's the danger there?
Amplification is a huge concern. Any errors, biases, factual mistakes, the hallucinations we talked about,
Yeah.
or even just stylistic quirks from the teacher models or the early synthetic data, they inevitably get passed down, inherited, and potentially amplified in the next generation.
Like a game of telephone, but with AI.
Exactly. Or like making a photocopy of a photocopy.
Oh.
The errors get worse. This is where you hear talk of model collapse or data poisoning on a massive scale.
Model collapse.
Yeah, the idea that an AI, by constantly training on slightly flawed versions of its own output, could eventually amplify those flaws until it becomes unreliable, maybe even nonsensical. An error from Gen 1 could become embedded fact for Gen 2, Gen 3.
Okay, so a mistake gets baked in and just grows. What about diversity? Does everything start sounding the same, like bland AI speak?
That's the homogenization risk. Synthetic data can give you consistent quality in certain areas, sure, but the cost could be flattening out the incredible richness of human language.
All the weirdness and creativity.
The dialects, the slang, the cultural nuances, the creative leaps, the humor, the mistakes even. That unique human texture. Models trained mostly on other AI output might just converge on a standard, kind of generic, maybe overly formal AI dialect.
Using the character.
Losing the character, the variety, it doesn't just make the models less interesting. It potentially impoverishes the digital culture they influence,
Yeah, that makes sense. And beyond errors and sameness, what about just knowing where information comes from? Authenticity, originality.
That's a fundamental challenge. That blur we mentioned between human insight and machine synthesis. It gets really opaque.
Right.
If an AI puts together a novel scientific idea or writes a really compelling piece or makes a persuasive argument based on patterns learned from human data and its own synthetic training, who's the author?
Where did the knowledge actually originate?
Yeah, exactly. And this erosion of clear provenance, it really undermines trust. How do you verify accuracy? How do you credit ideas fairly? How do we even value human creativity when the landscape is flooded with machine-generated derivatives? The whole idea of original thought online gets complicated.
Seriously complicated. And it sounds like this isn't just a philosophical issue. It can actually make the models worse over time.
It can. That's the ultimate danger of this feedback loop getting out of control. There are actual studies now from places like Oxford, Cambridge, Rice University, showing that when models are trained repeatedly just on data generated by previous AI generations,
Without fresh human input.
right, their performance can actually degrade. They become less diverse in their outputs. They make more errors. They kind of lose touch with the underlying reality that the original human data captured.
Drifting away.
A gradual drift into irrelevance or incoherence, as some researchers put it. That's the big risk if we're not careful managing the cycle.
Okay, so what do? We obviously can't just ditch AI-generated data. It's too useful, too powerful now. What's the path forward? How do we manage these risks and, keep that essential human spark alive in all this?
Yeah, you're right. Just stopping isn't realistic or even desirable. The future has to be a hybrid approach, a deliberately balanced one.
Okay.
The report really stresses that high-quality, diverse, authentic, human-generated data has to remain the anchor, the bedrock.
So keep valuing the human stuff.
Absolutely. That means continued investment in digitizing and preserving curated archives of human knowledge, literature, science, history. And beyond just preserving, we need to actively incentivize and value new, genuine human creation.
Yeah.
Journalism, research, art, cultural expression.
Protect the create.
And ensure there's rigorous human oversight for critical synthetic data sets, especially in high-stakes areas, medicine, Law, you need humans in the loop, validating that AI-generated training data.
Okay, so keep humans central for foundation and oversight. But what about the synthetic data itself? Can we make it better, more responsible?
That's crucial. We need responsible synthetic data generation practices. Part of that is developing better tech for provenance, things like digital watermarking or cryptographic signatures, so we can actually tell what's AI-generated and trace it back.
Labeling it clearly.
Yes. And we need much more sophisticated filtering and validation techniques before we use synthetic data for training. Using diverse teacher models helps, using adversarial testing to try and break it, find flaws.
Stress testing the synthetic data.
Exactly. And maybe focusing synthetic data generation where it's most needed, filling gaps where human data is truly scarce, or running specific controlled simulations, rather than just trying to replace human data wholesale.
Makes sense. And are there things we can change in the AI models themselves, the architecture, the algorithms, to stop this potential drift?
Yes, definitely. We need architectural and algorithmic safeguards built in. That could mean designing training pipelines that explicitly mandate mixing fresh human data with synthetic data in controlled ratios. Don't let it become a purely closed loop.
Breaking the cycle internally.
Right.
Yep.
And maybe building mechanisms for models to actively seek out and prioritize novel information or different perspectives that aren't already flooding their training data. And critically, ensuring models keep learning from real-time, grounded interactions, feedback from the real world, from authentic human use to keep them anchored.
Anchored to reality. And I guess this isn't just a tech problem for labs to solve. It needs broader rules, society, regulations.
Oh, absolutely. Societal and regulatory frameworks are vital here. Things like transparency mandates, rules requiring clear labeling of AI content, disclosure of how much synthetic data was used in training.
So you know what you're looking at.
Exactly. We also need policies and maybe funding structures that actively support human artists, writers, journalists, researchers, ensuring authentic human voices don't get drowned out, and clear ethical guidelines on using synthetic data, especially around deepfakes, misinformation, and protecting trust.
A lot to consider. This deep dive, it really shows a truly pivotal moment, doesn't it? We've built machines that can learn from us, okay, but now they're teaching each other, creating this self-sustaining knowledge ecosystem. It's incredible technologically.
It absolutely is. This autopoietic capability, this self-creation, it's a huge testament to how far AI has come. It promises acceleration we can barely imagine beyond human scale. But with that power comes profound responsibility, right? We need to steer it carefully. The risk is clear. Losing sight of the human roots of knowledge, forgetting the value of real lived experience, and maybe diminishing that irreplaceable spark of genuine human creativity. The report's core message really hit home for me. When machines become the primary authors of the world's text, the role of the human voice must be deliberately preserved.
Deliberately preserved, that's key.
In the age of AI.
So a final thought for you listening. As you navigate this increasingly AI-shaped digital world, as you encounter more and more content online, think about this. How will you try to tell the human voice apart from the synthesized echo? And maybe more importantly, what steps can you take in your own way to champion authentic human creativity? Because the future of knowledge, maybe intelligence itself, really seems to depend on getting that balance right.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding. And it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.